Welcome to the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast, where we talk about all things money, mindset, and marketing so your nutrition business can thrive and you can make a bigger impact in the marketplace. I am your host, Dyan, registered dietitian and money mindset expert. Let's get started with today's episode. Hey there, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of Make More Money as a Dietitian. I'm so excited to be back to talk to you about a topic that is near and dear to my heart because it really is the core work of mindset work, in my opinion. And it's all about cognitive dissonance and reconciling that. Now, most of the people that I work with have some level of cognitive dissonance that is holding them back from achieving the thing that they want in their life and in their business or just in their career as a dietitian. And I want to tell you guys that cognitive dissonance is totally normal for all of us. Like all of us, we all experience having this thing where we are in conflict with opposing beliefs. So for those of you who are kind of new to the mindset work on the level that I teach it, I want to give you a real simple definition of what cognitive dissonance really is. So just simply put, cognitive dissonance is the tension that arises when you think one way, but you act another, or when you hold two opposing views at the same time. So for example, I'm going to use weight as an example, and don't come after me about this weight thing. Okay, y'all, just stick with me here. Okay. So maybe you want to lose weight, but then you take some actions that will prevent you from losing weight, like overeating, the foods that you really should not be overeating. So let me just tell you once again that we all do the cognitive dissonance thing. I want to put you at ease with that first and foremost, because just like imposter syndrome, you may believe like you're the only one who's feeling this imposter syndrome, right? Like you're the only one who's feeling kind of out of place and all of these things. But no, you're not. With cognitive dissonance, we all do it. We have some level of it that we engage in our lives. And I want to also tell you that some of the cognitive dissonance that you may be experiencing can actually be a good thing, but too much of it, or just having too much of that unresolved tension, is not a good thing. And so let's talk about actually how cognitive dissonance, some of it can actually help us grow. Because dissonance isn't necessarily a bad thing, you guys. Recognizing when your beliefs and your behaviors are in conflict, or maybe even recognizing when two beliefs seem to oppose one another, can actually help you parse out and better understand your values and what you stand for. And then ultimately recognizing that inner conflict can help you understand yourself a little bit better and the values and the beliefs that really matter to you. Okay, so when you become more aware of your values and beliefs, and you get to understand that inner conflict that arises within you, you actually get to know yourself better. And that's what this life is all about for all of us, is growing and evolving and becoming a better person year after year after year after year. So working to find the cognitive dissonance in your life can actually be a positive and amazing life-altering experience. It can allow you to grow and be in control of yourself and help you build trust in yourself and your decision making. Okay. And that's why I really love this work that I do, because I love to not only grow and evolve myself, but to be a witness and hold space for others to do the same. It is so gratifying for me to watch others become a better version of themselves. Now, on the flip side, cognitive dissonance can be harmful as well. So, recognizing and reconciling cognitive dissonance is not always a good feel experience, y'all, because spotting dissonance in our own lives can be painful. It can also be embarrassing and anxiety inducing too. And so you really want to do this work alongside someone to reconcile it in a very safe space, right? So make sure that you are always in communication with someone who can help you to resolve the dissonance once you recognize what it is, because it's not always a feel-good experience to work through when you're working through it on your own. So if you are at a point where you actually do know your opposing beliefs, you realize that maybe you want to make more money as a dietitian, but you are not taking action in the way that is going to allow you to make more money as a dietitian. Or maybe you want to make more money as a dietitian, but you still don't believe that you can. Maybe you listened to a recent episode where I interviewed dietitians who really are making very good money, and you don't believe that you still don't believe that it's possible for you. So I want to help you to reconcile some of this. And there are a few ways that you can do this. And some of these ways, or a couple of these ways, are going to sound really simplistic, but I just want you to listen. Remember, it's unlikely that any of us can avoid having cognitive dissonance completely. It's also important to spot it and resolve it, or at least reduce it. So I want to give you a few ways that you can reduce it. And the first is to change your belief. Now, of course, this is the simplest option, but it's also more difficult to pull off. I'm sure if any of you have been struggling with opposing beliefs in regards to your career, you understand that it is hard to believe a new thing about your earning potential as a dietitian when maybe you don't even see very many options out there that it is actually possible to do better, right? And maybe you see just a few people who are doing the thing that you really want to do, but maybe you're thinking, oh, well, that's just for them. They must have done something unique and different. I have no idea what that is, but that's not the average. Or maybe you think that those who are making good money as a dietitian, maybe you believe that they are business coaches for other dietitians, and that dietitians who are in traditional private practice certainly couldn't make good money because of whatever your belief is. But I want to encourage you and challenge you as well to change your belief about this. Because you can make more money as a dietitian, but it starts with your belief. It starts with you believing, and you don't have to believe 100% off the bat. You don't have to believe it 100% in the beginning. What if your belief was just a small belief? Maybe your belief was, what if your belief was stemming from curiosity instead of 100% belief? What if you were just curious to know or curious to see who is actually making good money as a dietitian? Could that possibly help you change your belief? If you were to be curious instead of skeptical, could that help you shift your mindset a bit? I want to encourage you and challenge you to give that a try. So instead of stemming from skepticism, how about you stem from curiosity instead? Another way to reduce cognitive dissonance of two opposing beliefs, and I really want to stay on the belief of whether or not you can make more money as a dietitian, is to change your actions. This is so important. This one right here, like changing your actions. You cannot make more money as a dietitian by only believing. You actually have to put in the work. And as I always say, it is not just the practical steps of putting together your private practice, like putting together your marketing plan and, making sure you're networking and all of that. Yes, that. But it is also the inner work within you that is going to help to change your actions. Okay, so you have to take action by doing the practical steps along with the inner work of continuing to believe along the way, even when things get hard, because they will get hard and things will trip you up and things will trigger you. And some of your actions will not produce the results that you expect. And instead of giving in, you will need to course correct. So that inner work is going to help you to not give up when things don't work out your way. It's going to help you to continue to take action by course correcting. Okay, so changing your beliefs, changing your actions. And then the third thing is changing how you perceive your actions. By altering the way you remember what happened, you can actually talk yourself into believing that your actions weren't in so much opposition to your beliefs. Okay, so you can actually talk yourself into believing that your actions weren't in so much opposition to your beliefs. Can you get that? Can you believe that you can kind of flip the switch in your mind and you can be your biggest cheerleader and you can talk yourself into a new belief instead of being that person in your mind that is kind of cheating you out of the future that you want for yourself by giving you all of the negative talk? What if you resigned the negative nanny in your mind and hired on your biggest cheerleader? Could you do that? Could you hire on your biggest cheerleader and then decide what you would want her to say? Like, you get to choose. When things don't go as planned, what would your biggest cheerleader still say to you? What would she or he say even when you only got one client in the past 30 days? What would he or she say? We need to resign our negative nannies in our mind and hire on our biggest cheerleaders. This is sometimes the simplest thing that you can do for yourself to change how you perceive things in your private practice, in your business, in your career as a dietitian. It's so important that you understand that you are in control, that you are not a victim to your circumstances, that in every given moment, You're in control of how you react or respond to the circumstances in your life. You're not in control of all of the circumstances that arise, of course, but you are in 100% control of how you react or respond. And that can make or break how you move forward. And did you know that you could actually prevent some cognitive dissonance in your life in the first place? Like, you can also lessen the chances of dissonance beginning in the first place if you practice being more mindful. So for instance, when conflict or tension arises, how about you try not to be so impulsive? But instead, you take the time to pause and you think through your situation and your feelings, because it's important to be in touch with your own value system and know when your thinking is being driven by your emotions. Because especially as women, we can be quite emotional. So just in case you don't know how to become more mindful, I want to give you a few tips. They're simple. You've heard of them before. So they're tips and reminders of how to be more mindful so that you can prevent this cognitive dissonance in the first place. So maybe you'll want to talk things through with a trusted friend. Or maybe you'll want to get your body moving. I know for me, like moving my body, whether it's going outdoors and going for a brisk walk, or maybe even just putting on some music and moving my body just organically through dance, that helps me to move the emotions through my body. It's like processing it through and then coming back to myself afterwards. Maybe just sitting and journaling, writing things out without censoring yourself. That could be tremendously helpful. So those are a few things that you could really start to implement in your life. Talking to a friend, journaling it out if you don't have the ability to talk to a friend, or maybe just getting yourself up away from your desk, out of your house, out of the office, and move your body. Allow those emotions and those thoughts and those crappy beliefs, allow them to just move through you. Process them physically, not just mentally or emotionally. Now, resolving or reconciling your cognitive dissonance is not always easy, my friend. It really isn't. But it's 1,000% worth it if you want to move forward in your career. If you want to do bigger and better things in your life. It's really important to acknowledge the fact that, yes, I have these opposing beliefs. I want to make more money as a dietitian, but I don't really believe I can. I want to make more money as a dietitian, but whatever that opposing belief is, I'm not taking the action to do so. Acknowledge these things. Stop playing victim and start being the biggest cheerleader for yourself that you can. And if you can't be your own biggest cheerleader, it's important that you hire someone who can. You will always have someone in your corner who will say, yes, you can. When you can invest in yourself, to have someone there for you every step of the way is so very important. Okay, my friend, I hope this was helpful, because cognitive dissonance is the thing that we all have from time to time in our lives and in our careers. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And I wanted to just give you some tips on how you can begin to reconcile this for yourself so that you can move forward towards your dreams and your goals in this career that you've chosen. because it is possible. It is possible for you to make more money. It is possible for you to make very good money in this career of yours. And I want you to start believing it. I will see you next week on another episode of Make More Money as a Dietitian, where I will continue to inspire you and to give you some tips and tricks on how you can continue to move forward. See you next time, my friend. Hey, if you want to learn more about how you can make more money as a dietitian, I want to invite you to check out my program, Charge What You're Worth. Now, to learn more about this program and how it can help you to become a top earner as a dietitian in business, just head on over to moneymindsetdietitian.com/work with me. Again, that's moneymindsetdietitian.com/work with me, where you can learn more about the Charge What You're Worth program and how it can help you.